I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the board meeting, and before we get started today, I'd like to take a moment to recognize fallen Deputy Joshua Owen from Pope County. If we can take a moment of silence and honor him. Thank you. I'd like you to keep his family and those families of the other officers that were injured in your thoughts and prayers, and safety of our officers throughout the state and the country to keep out of harm's way. With that, any changes to the agenda?
No, Commissioner Nelson, just and this was discussed at finance. We do have under the county administrator, the county bargaining unit contracts. We of course also have a closed session meeting at the end for a strategy discussion. So we'll be going to that after we get out of closed session. But nothing.
So we want to add at the end of possible action for accepting contracts.
Yes, number 3 can just go right after the closed session. It'll be at your discretion, but I just wanted to prepare the board for that, and that would be essentially skipping that till after the closed session is done.
Okay, and we have a work session afterwards. With the agenda today, there might be some things under human resources that we just moved to the end of the meeting.
Yeah.
It depends on how we flow. So.
Yep.
So there's really no changes, just it'll be jockeying within the.
Yes, sir.
Move to confirm. Motion by John.
I'll second.
A second by Dave to approve the agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Corrections, additions, deletions to the minutes of April 4.
I had one on page 4 of 5 under number 4. The word "the" is all capitalized. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be or not. It's a minor thing.
Yeah.
Stuck out. I don't know.
Where are you on 4?
Page 4, number 4, number 3? No, number 4.
Page
Under
4
land
of
use.
5, number 4, under the land use. The word "the" is all capitalized.
You want to stick to that same page, I think number 3, right above that. At the end of that sentence with receipts, I think up front could be just dropped off just with receipts.
Yeah.
I have one on page 3 of 5. Under licenses, number 2, should read Boys and Girls Club Thrift Store, and remove "and more." Should be for raffle.
Oh, yeah.
Right below that on number 3, it should be accept, not approve. The cash comparison. Right under that, human resources presented by Carrie. Number 1 under policy updates. I think we could remove all that because it's not inclusive on the changes. I'd rather just say refer to the approved policy on the motion, because it's not it says some highlights, but they're not accurate when you read just a snippet like that.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Correct.
So under that, I would just, don't you think that would probably be appropriate just to say refer to the approved policy manual?
The personnel policy, man.
On page 2 of 5, number 4, department head review meeting, Pat. I don't know if that, most of that stuff it doesn't read well, so maybe just eliminate everything except reviewed the work from home policy, or we're gonna go back to the work from home policy by July 5th. Maybe that's noteworthy to have on there, but the rest of it's just so compacted, it doesn't read well. Then number 5, management agreement with Sunnyside Care Center. It just doesn't read well.
Fire.
Someone online is has their speaker on or their microphone on. Maybe just, it should at least say the administrator, Ashley McNally, will be staying on with Becker, with Sunnyside, at least kind of acknowledge who she is, but maybe.
Yeah, what she's gonna do. Executive Director Ash McNally will stay with Sunnyside.
And I think that was all that I had. Anyone else? Not entertain a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Erica, second by Dave to approve the minutes of April 4th. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Excuse me.
Okay, open forum.
Good morning.
Morning, Hank.
Morning, Hank.
Just Hank.
Can you hear me okay?
Can hear you.
I'm here in regards to land and use, environmental services, to Park and Rec, number C, the resolution for dissolution of the recreational advisory committee. I was on the Park and Rec board before it was a recreational advisory committee. I've got 15, 16 years working with that. I know that we do not have a person specifically that deals with that outside of Mr. Skoog at this point, and he has a lot of other things on his plate. We haven't met since a year ago, last November. But with looking at some of the things that are in the works of that lot project, Bucks Mill, and also working on a comprehensive plan, I think you still need the RAC to help the districts and get the information for you that will make a better comp plan down the road for you. And so I would like to see you continue to have RAC and hopefully find maybe a new staff person that could work with us.
Are you, Hank, are you still on, you were currently on the committee? Okay.
Vice Chair here.
And why hasn't it met for a year?
Part of it, I think, was the situation.
Okay, sure.
And commissioner and some of the things like with DNR in relation to Bucks Mill got held up.
So it hasn't not met because of lack of things to discuss or plan.
So,
Okay,
and I would appreciate that.
Yep.
Any other questions?
Well, I think, Hank, you bring up some valid points, and you know, I'm one that was thinking that it's could disband just because it hasn't, you know, it hasn't been very productive. Maybe we'll discuss a little bit more at that time, but maybe Pat, I think what's the time frame for the new hire for EDA?
Well, I'm gonna give a report on that, but we made an offer and that person will start on May 8th.
Okay, so maybe we can hold off and wait see if maybe we can revamp it and see how if there's a better, if it has some goals, and maybe the two new people can sit down and say if there is any value to it, and we can revisit it that way. I don't know, but we can discuss that maybe at that time rather than in open forum.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Hank.
Thanks, Hank.
thank you.
Well, just sharing a comment, you know, we got more than what Hank mentioned. We got the Heartland Trail. That's kind of a wreck deal. Wanigan Park is always
Yep.
in the works, so there's things they could, RAC committee could help out with, I think, so.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks, Hank.
Thanks, Hank.
Jerry?
Graham, Erie Township. That's, went to our genealogy meeting. They found out that, Historical Society wants to charge us for a meeting there. And we had talked about this before, and, the commissioners had stated that after we asked that we'd be included there. Well, what I'd humbly like to ask is that the commissioners give us in writing that we're not supposed to be charged to use the new museum when we meet for genealogy. Genealogy is where we came from, and that's why we are who we are and where we're at now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jerry. Any, we'll move on to reports and correspondence.
I can go first.
Go ahead, John.
I didn't have many. I think Barry and I had Sheriff's Committee discuss some accurate control agreement for the jail to monitor some mechanical stuff out there. Coming forth, this is items to sell from impound boat and water safety grant that we received. And I believe we're swearing in a new deputy this morning. And a few other in-house policy concerns and discussion. Then we had environmental. Most of that's coming before us today. We have a meeting this afternoon with architect to go over some issues that were missed on the building, and basically they want the county to pay for some of their mistakes. So we'll have a good discussion on that. And then Public Works building last Wednesday.
Yeah, I think I forwarded everyone and the schedule and everything. Everything looks on time, and as we get closer, I hope we can have a public invite date for the public to walk through if they want to. I think the only thing of significance is the lift. The company that ordered the in-ground lift for us that ordered the wrong one, so we'll be waiting for that. Hopefully they can use another one that's in shipment, but they ordered a surface lift and we have one that's set in the concrete, so.
They got the part someplace, going someplace on a boat, but they might
Yeah.
intercept.
The other thing is there was some Wi-Fi connections that weren't in any bids, and we're gonna be coming later today to ask for where those should be charged to. Something that's needed. It just was, the wiring's all there, just the actual connections from the router, so. Anything else?
Brief.
I can go next. I only had just a couple. We met last week, the first meeting for the opioid settlement agreement committee. So really, we didn't discuss a whole lot, just listen to everybody that was there and kind of what they're doing in the community to combat the opioid epidemic. I think it's a great thing that we have this opportunity to provide some additional support and services through this settlement. So I look forward to our continued meetings. My only other meeting was just our Human Services meeting, which most of what we discussed will be in the agenda. So
Yep,
that's all I
I
have.
was with. So I was Human Services. So the other thing I have, we didn't meet, but I want to remind everybody about the Dancing Sky. On the Minnesota Board of Aging website, you can go on there and you can, I talked about this the last two meetings, you can request that the money goes more towards, rural areas instead of towards the city. So, or not city, but the urban areas of cities. So you need to request that we want 25% of the funding to go to rural counties, the rural areas instead of 15%. And then 15% would go to everybody that's 60 plus years old instead of 25%. That would actually help. Now, if you go on the website, which is the Minnesota Board of Aging, you'll see a link and you can just state that right on there and send an email. There's a person to send an email to. Then my other thing is that something that we want to support as a whole board? Do we want to send a letter? Or do you guys just want to, if you're in favor of it, you want to do it yourselves? Because you guys all got an email. And you can just, it's a form letter and you can just put your name on it and send it if you want. But I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Is this stuff that's going through the state legislature now? Is
It actually is decided by the Minnesota Board of Aging.
that- Okay,
And the money is already allocated from the federal government. And then they determine how it's allocated to the 7 districts.
do you know when they make that?
It'll be
determination?
the website is open for comments for the whole month of April, and then at like April, I don't know, the last date, April 30th.
We could have, Pat, we could ask you to, on behalf of Becker County, state our
Yeah,
interest in sending that
and then
to
if
the
you,
rural to.
and if you want, Pat, I can forward you that email that has that form thing on it. It has the exact, okay.
Is the board all right with having it read the Becker County Board
I'm okay with that.
I am too.
to make sure the funding for rural is strong and
Yeah, I think, we're definitely a rural county, so.
Yeah.
We'll help our county.
That's,
thanks, Dave.
yep, that's all I have.
Um, John covered sheriff and our public works building and highway. The only other thing that's, I think the whole board's aware of is, the work that we've done with the RFP for Sunnyside Nursing Home that has been made available now. Is that right, Pat, or have we sent that out?
Yes, it is, it will be sent out today. There was, as you know, one inquiry from one of the board of directors on some slight.
Yeah, I think that was a appropriate thing. Just say
Correct.
bids can be handled
Yeah,
instead of sealed
yeah,
bids.
yeah.
It's not it's a professional service, so it's not it doesn't have to be, we don't have to take the low quote or the low bid on that. It's,
Yeah.
So otherwise, we'll be getting those out. There's been many revisions and many looks at, and I think I don't know if the whole board here got a look at that, and the Sunnyside board had opportunity to comment to, and I think everyone, just a couple of them made comments for improvements on it, so. Anything else, Richard?
I just had environmental with John, and I just had, we were talking about trading some trucking back and forth with Clay County. And so maybe if they're going, we could maybe load their truck one way, maybe they can load it, maybe we can run garbage both ways, and we're looking, that's the only other thing that I had to add.
That's the conjunction of working a deal with Fargo landfill and kind of trading garbage, and everybody get credit for it.
Yeah, because right now we can take so much in there and we can take so much to Perham. Maybe Clay County would take theirs to Fargo, and then we could, and use our spot there, and then we could use their spot in Perham
Deliver to Perham.
and deliver to Perham, which is closer for us. So that's what that's the only other thing I had to add, but that's all I got.
One additional thing on that too, we're be negotiating new trucking rates with the trucking company. If not, we'll have to go out for new bids on that.
All right, any other reports, correspondence? Anything under that, Pat?
No, sir.
Appointments?
I wanted to offer something. Commissioner Nelson, we do have 2 positions for the Pelican River watershed that will be expiring. Certainly those individuals have made an inquiry about they'd be interested in being reappointed, but historically what we've done is we've advertised that.
Yes, we are required
Yep,
to advertise for, I think, 30 days, is it?
correct.
Prior to appointments, so.
So we are doing that, and we'll bring something back to you in May.
Yeah, I think both of them had indicated they want to
Correct.
re-up, but we'll have to advertise it. And
Okay, any other appointments? If not, we're moving on to presentation to Roy Smith. Roy? Well, as everybody knows, Roy Smith has been our surveyor, Becker County surveyor. On the plaque, it says from 81. Is that accurate?
Yes, I started in 81, but actually I started surveying in Becker County in 69. So I know all your parents.
Well, I remember my dad had you surveyed down at our lake place, and we didn't really get the result that we wanted, and he wouldn't take a bribe, so he's a pretty straight shooter and honest, but
That was the first time I really turned that down. I knew
First one you
where
said.
you were headed.
But the county board would just like to say thank you for your years of service as a surveyor, but I don't think most people know how much time he's put in on our other projects, on committees, and we call and for input and expertise, advice on a lot of things that he, he doesn't get credit for, doesn't get acknowledged for. But today we just want to present you with a little plaque, just saying thank you for what you've done for the county and your years of service, and just wish you well in your retirement years. And I know we still lean on you for advice on many things. So thank you, Roy.
Barry, I was just going to mention one thing. When I started in 81, actually when I started in 69, that was before zoning. There was no zoning at that time. So we implemented the zoning. It was in 72, I think. And then as I got to looking back at the people I worked with, I think probably at least 5 zoning officers, probably 5 county recorders, probably 4 or 5 assessors and treasurers. And so when you ask what I've done in the last 40 some years, I've been involved with a lot of those different people. Started with Carl Randolph, maybe you remember him, county recorder. And I'm not sure who the first sheriff was, but it goes back a long time. But anyway, thank you very much, Barry. I enjoyed, and I'm guessing I probably went through maybe 20 different county boards or parts of it. It was shifting back and forth. So yes, I have met a lot of good people. I've worked with a lot of good people. Becker County is a very good place to make a living. I found that out many years ago. So thank you all.
Thank you, Roy.
Thanks, Roy.
We were gonna, Commissioner, if we could do a photo op if that.
Right.
You're comfortable with that?
We got a.
Group wants to go around.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this is great.
It's not the big plaque that you deserve, but it's something.
Oh, that's very, very nice of you. Very nice of you.
Here, let them, we get a photo op here and shake your hand and, okay, sincere thank you, Roy. Yeah, thank you very much.
Everybody. All right, okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, Pat, we'll move on to
Yeah.
your report.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. Yeah, I handed out a document here from the Association of Minnesota Counties. This was part of a legislative discussion on Friday that I was also a part of online, and they've made an inquiry to each county that may have a fit for a public land center or investing in a public land center. And what they're requesting is the LATCF dollars that we received. We were receiving approximately 80,000 per year for 2 years. If an amount of that, if the board would consider redistributing that for this public land center. And I know this is probably new that you're getting this now. We just received this on Friday, but I just thought I would give this to the board and allow you to give some thought to it. There's not an immediate timeline, but like I said, the email was just received by us, And it would not exhaust all the LATCF dollars. It would just be a small amount. And they're asking this request among all the Midwest counties in NACO.
I'm going to put you on the spot, but
Mhm.
what's the acronym LATC?
Yeah. I was gonna-
Yeah, it's the Local Assistance and Tribal Consistency Fund. That was the money that the board approved. We had a little bit of a tough time getting ourselves registered, but we finally accomplished that. The only limit that we can use LATCF or we can't use it is for lobbying. So right now we're receiving those 2 allotments, and it really is up to the board and how we distribute that, what we use that for.
Yeah,
So-
that was it's a one-time payment for 2 years, correct?
Correct.
And what they're asking is for us to allocate $1,672
For the
of that
two-
allocation.
Over 2 years.
For the 2 years.
I think, I guess I'm supportive of, but I'm not clear what the usage, what the ongoing usage or request will be. I think that's the only. It's a startup and no funds for the future and NACO and AMC would support it, or are they is it gonna be a continuous ask?
And Jonathan Sheffield is the NACO contact. One of the things we could do, and we could do it for the next board meeting, is we could have them participate via Teams and answer some questions.
I don't think it's significant enough to
Okay.
have anyone online. I think
Okay.
if anyone wants to, I think Ryan Erdman could just give us an update.
Yep,
on it.
Ryan as well. Yep,
Yeah.
that's who I received the email from. Yep.
But I think if they're asking for it, John, what do you think? I would support it as to start, but
Yeah, I think we need a voice on there or from this county to continue to support and possibly even get additional monies coming back, so.
yeah, it just says over 2 years, so that money was unbudgeted money anyway, so it's not like we had any earmark for it. Do you wanna wait or do you wanna act on it? That $1,500, 1,672 over 2 years now, or do you wanna wait? I think we could we'll go ahead and do
I
it.
don't see any problem with doing it now.
I think it'll,
And the next 2 pages kind of explain what their goals are and,
well, Mary Jo and Rich are supporting of it. I think,
Yeah.
they're both very sound
'cause
leaders for
Rich is
AMC.
in County that's got probably a lot of public land in it also up there, so.
Yeah. So wish of the board to authorize a one-time let's just do the one payment for 1672 right up front, so it's not coming back to us.
Make that motion.
Motion by John,
I'll second that.
second by Dave to authorize payment of $1,672 to the, it's from the LATCF
Yeah.
dollars to the NACO and Western Institute
Western Institute.
National Center for Public Lands.
Yep.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries.
And I'll continue, Commissioner Nelson. One request that we have received from the Detroit Lakes Public School System is a vocational opportunity. As in previous years, I think it was pre-COVID, they had reached out and met with certain department heads, certain positions that they would like to learn more about, and their curiosity is that that's something they would like to be when they get out of high school. And so we had an initial inquiry from the Detroit Lake School District, and we are working with them on creating that type of meeting. And they've narrowed it down to a very small list. But those department heads have been willing to use some of their time, and it would be done on site, and the meeting would be in the boardroom, and there would be some tours involved with it. But we think it's a great opportunity to allow our youth to understand what it takes to become a human services director, what it takes to become a county attorney and things like that. So we just want to make sure the board was aware of it, make sure you didn't have any questions or concerns about that.
I was involved in that.
Cool.
Back when I worked at the county, I presented as a social worker, so I think it's a great program.
I thought you were going to say when you were in high school, I'm thinking, boy,
No,
and
no,
you
no,
and
no.
you became a human services
No.
person, so it worked.
No, I presented to the high school students.
Very nice. Well, and we just wanted to share that with the board. Continuing on, it was already mentioned about the Sunnyside Care RFP. That will not only be advertised in the paper, but will go out to specific vendors, be available on our website. Another RFP that we're working on that is also out is the community-based comprehensive plan that'll be discussed during the planning and zoning. That is also will be in the paper, be on the website, and be sent out to vendors. Continuing on, it was asked about our EDA specialist position. We have made an offer, and that offer has been accepted for Cody Piper to be our new economic development specialist. He will start on May 8th. If that name is familiar to some individuals, he is currently a Becker County employee. He's the chief assessor in the assessor's office. So we're very excited to bring him on board. I think the final items that I wanted to review are just related to, well, actually, it's already on the agenda. So I guess Commissioner Nelson, I'll put it back to you, and I actually have it on the agenda, the benefits committee. So we'll just wait till it gets there.
How about the mural?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I figured there was something else out there. Thank you. And we have that on here too, but we'll just segue to that if you'd like. So on page 14, we have information on the request from a nonprofit group to do 2 murals, do a mural on the Human Services building and also a mural in a tunnel that leads up to Dutton Locks. We actually had a couple committee meetings on this. The Human Services Committee met, and also the Environmental Committee met. I think the one challenge on the tunnels is we just want to verify that we have ownership of that tunnel. It's not like a rail-owned tunnel, but certainly the building is ours, and both committees seem very receptive to it. It would be the person that we've been working with, and Amy, I was about to call her Ann, is certainly willing to come to a future board meeting, but she provided a preliminary contract. I had the county attorney review, which is a basic contract on expectations. The mural, of course, would be approved by the board before it would be moved forward. And again, they understand that putting something on a public building, they want to create something that's not only beautiful, but nothing that is controversial. And so the board will have final say on whatever mural is put together, but they have some initial ideas, and we thought it was a little bit more timely, and that's the reason we reached out to those committees, but there is a little bit more time, and she has offered to come to a future board meeting if the board's interested in meeting her and learning more about the project.
Do you have there's actually, it's actually two separate groups that are looking at writing the murals. The one in the tunnel under County 22, which is a big box culvert, that goes, it's the bike trail that goes to Dutton Locks, is being considered to be done by some high school students that have been pretty active. The second one is more professional. I think that's the one that can take some time that we can wait on. But did you get a copy of the mural that they're proposing in the tunnel?
I did. I was going to forward that to the board. I just didn't get a chance to do it. Yep.
It's kind of exciting. It looks like, you know, if you ever been to some of those big water parks where they have the tunnel underneath the aquarium, maybe I'm ruining their surprise, but that's what they're trying to go for. So I think we should move forward with that one so they can get ahead, move forward right away, and then we can wait on the Human Service building, because the way it sounds, they're gonna put out requests and measure it and get those approvals first, and then they're gonna put out for local artists to see if they wanna, because I guess there's quite a few around town that they're looking at doing. So,
but I'm sorry to interrupt you, Commissioner. I just actually emailed it to all of you, but it's the tunnel is literally looks like a goldfish bowl on the inside. So if you do see it, it's impressive. So,
but they've been working on this for a while, and the only thing, I don't know, I wish Steve was here, because John, we authorized that tunnel to be muraled a few years ago. I think it was through 4-H, but it never got done. So
Steve Scoo's online if you would like to ask.
I don't know if Steve remembers that or not. And we went through, if Dan was around, I think at that time, but so Steve wasn't real active in NRM. It went through NRM because it's on the bike trail, but Jim, do you remember that? Yeah, but it hasn't been done, so I think we're fine with just moving forward. I don't think that one is real with high school students wanting to put up a mural like that, I think we just authorize it pending maybe Jim's approval just as a safeguard to make sure, but yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So I would entertain a motion to authorize the mural being painted on the box culvert and 22 on the bike trail leading to Dunton Locks with Jim's final authorization to make sure everything's, if that's the wishes of the board.
I would make that motion to allow the high school students to paint a mural.
And I thought I heard Commissioner
Point of
Nelson
order.
make a motion.
Point of order.
Oh, excuse me, sir. Yeah.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any,
No, I was just gonna say, I thought you made the motion. I was just
No, I
gonna,
entertained
I apologize. So thank you.
I think it should read though, there's a club. I mean, if we just say high school
Yes.
students, we might get all kinds of graffiti out there. Let's make sure it's an authorized club of the high school.
Well, is it through the,
I think it's through the
through the
412.
412?
Correct.
412's, represents the 412 lakes.
Michelle Stearns.
Amy Stearns.
Amy Stearns. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. And we can, I think we can act favorably, but we'll wait for some more info on the human service building.
And Commissioner Nelson, just one final thing that I'd like to bring to the board's attention is there has been discussions from staff about doing some type of summer event, like a picnic event. We've done that in previous years, but it sort of stopped after COVID. And with the board's consensus, what we'd like to do is just put our event committee together. We have an event committee and just put together some ideas and bring them back to the board and get your feedback.
Yeah, one event that we kind of thought of is maybe, barbecue out in a new public works building for the employees to get a chance to visit that even before the public or before it opens be nice. It's an impressive building. If we haven't been out there, it's impressive. And before it gets full of all the trucks and all the equipment, it looks a lot bigger now than it will once we get everything in there. But that would be a wish to the board. I think that's a
Yeah.
good idea.
Yep.
Perfect. That's what I had.
Okay. Anything else under? Otherwise move to claims, Mary?
What about the benefits? committee?
Yeah.
Well, we're behind schedule, so we'll just, we can move those to
Perfect. Perfect.
later in the meeting, after we.
Perfect.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm requesting a motion to approve the regular claims, auditor warrants in over 90 days.
Move to approve.
Motion by John,
I'll second.
second by Dave. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Next, we'll move on to licenses. We have off-sale renewal for Buyers Liquors in Osage Township.
I'll make a motion to approve the off-sale license for Buyers Liquors LLC in Osage Township.
I have a motion,
Second.
second by Richard. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Next, we have combination on-off sale with Sundays, all renewals, Two Inlets Country Store, Curly's on Cotton Lake, and Hooligans Lakeside.
Move to approve.
Motion by John,
I'll second.
second by Erica. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. And a gambling permit?
Yep, resolution 423-2E, Detroit Lakes Lion Club for a raffle August 5th at Sioux Pass Ranch in Lakeview Township.
Move to E.
Motion by John,
I'll second.
second by Dave. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Mary, these gambling permits, they have to come before the board too.
They have to
right?
have a resolution, yeah.
Because, they're they're not real.
Well, the
Contra-
state requires a county board resolution before they'll sign for.
We can't give you a blanket resolution on gambling permits. Denise, you're way ahead in this schedule, it seems like.
1 minute.
Morning.
Good morning.
Are we disposing of that equipment or the old office equipment? Okay,
It's pretty old. I know. The supervisor has said, and it's very like wonky, so
Yeah.
not very ergonomic, wonky to the point where it's the chair in the office is like
It's tilted
tilted sideways from the
because,
previous supervisor.
yeah, because the tables are at different levels.
that's highly sought after, you know.
But if you get the desk, you have to get the chair. You can't see anything.
Yeah. Okay, wishes of the board?
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the office equipment to replace the old office equipment.
And we have an amount of,
$4,031.43.
okay, is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, motion by Dave, second by Erica. Any other discussion?
I was just gonna make note too that there were 2 bids
Yes.
received by Denise, and this was the lower one.
Lower one.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries. And then maintenance will take care of the old equipment and I would assume we'll have some sort of public sale of any extra furniture. Probably do that once or twice, once a year, every other year maybe. Okay.
Was
That's your emails clarifying it made me more confused. Okay. S-
currently the year goes from July to July. Is that correct? Okay.
Okay,
Yeah. July, June.
okay, so
Always looks like it belonged to me.
we understand this is an amendment and it's changing their fiscal year to the calendar year, I believe. Is
Correct.
basically what it's doing, and it's
Correct.
telling us the amount. So, there's amendment number 4 for grant contract 173024. Entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I will second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you. Next item is the Minnesota Encounter Alert Service Agreement. This is a system that will be provided by DHS to us at no cost. And it will just help us. It will identify people sooner who are moving from nursing home to nursing home or from nursing home to home, and that we'll be able to provide them services, respond to that information quicker.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve the Minnesota Encounter Alert Service Agreement.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Erica, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Dave. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, opposed, motion carries.
And the last item are the claims for human services, public health, and transit.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Erica,
I'll second.
second by Dave to approve the human service, public health, and transit claims. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed, motion carries.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Boy, that's right on schedule,
Yeah,
but we skipped 5 items, so that's.
yeah. Well, I think this portion of my presentation is going to be quick until our work session, so. As I understood, the resolutions, you wanted to address those after the work session, correct? Is that still?
Yes, the
Okay.
bargaining unit contracts, we can.
Yes, so I will just give just the board a couple of quick updates since we're going to go into a work session with policy anyway. The comp and class study is in process. I've had some meetings with the vendor and some instructions have went out to the department heads. So that process has begun. And we have provided comparable counties, contingent counties, and other items. There's going to be just more of an informational session for department heads and supervisors next week via Teams. And my intent is to record that session. And if the board would like additional information, I would certainly make that recording available to you. He's going to go over the system of how they evaluate job descriptions, et cetera. So wanted to let you know that that would be available. The other item that I have, just again, for informational purposes, we did have a request by the Detroit Lakes High School for a tour and a meet and greet, if you will, with their individual departments that they would like to have more information about career development. So that is in the process of being scheduled by our department, and I believe it's probably going to be in May. So just wanted to make you aware of that. And that's all I have until our work session, fairly quick.
Okay. I'm just looking, is there anything on there we could, any of,
I think most of it is discussion, so it's probably better served in our discussion, I would say.
okay,
Thank you.
okay. Thank you, Carrie. Yes, go ahead. Tom. Sure. Yeah, we can take our break first too, but Jim, if you want to go ahead.
Good morning, Commissioners. 3 items for your consideration. First item is our bid award. We went and advertised for our road paving projects on County Road 21, and County Road 6, our Public Works parking lot paving, and then also some township projects that partnered with us. Anyways, bids came in well. We received 5 bids, and the low bid is to Mark Sand and Gravel for $3,484,814.94. This is below our engineer's estimate, so we're recommending award. They have worked with us several times before, and
I move resolution 2C.
Motion by John,
Second.
second by Richard. Go over the projects again. I think, I think it's significant that we're using this as our Public Works
sure.
paving too.
County Road 21 is a state aid project, starting from 34 and going north up to 149. County Road 6, we're doing just an overlay to strengthen the road from the 59 in towards Westlake Drive to the railroad bridge. That'll butt up with our new paving work that will complete from the projects last year.
And the railroad bridge is going to be improved this year, correct? I mean,
Our work under that road, yeah,
Yeah.
under the bridge, yep. Road
that's
work.
a pretty bad
It's
spot right now.
It's really under last year's contract.
Yeah.
It never got completed yet.
We thought this would be a good opportunity also to put in our public works site paving, just because it makes for a larger project and we got a better price. It did come in below our estimate. It's like $250,000, which is right within the budget that we had planned for. Then partnering with those township roads in Audubon are up by Little Cormorant Lake. There's a couple roads up there on the north side of Little Cormorant Lake. Detroit Township has a road going 280th here south of town out to a nice residential area. And Detroit Township is has a road, Anchor Road, which was closed there where the Pelican River comes through. And they kind of rebuilt that east end to make sure those houses had good access and that, and they're paving that as well.
Are the townships projects are listed separately though, so they're broke out separately?
Yes, as you see in your resolution, award is contingent upon them awarding. All their bids came in very reasonable as well, so we're anticipating they will be awarding at their next town meetings here in the upcoming couple of weeks.
That's a very good service that the county is doing to piggyback those on in the projects in that same area. I think it saves the townships quite a bit of money, so. So I think we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Next item, we have a capital purchase request. We are seeking to purchase a topper for a new survey truck. If you recall, a few meetings ago, we did purchase a new vehicle to replace that. We have gotten a couple quotes now, and our low quote is coming in from Bert's Trucking Equipment at $4,065.
Move to approve the topper from Burt's for $4,065.
Second.
Motion by John, second by Richard. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
Final item for consideration is a detour agreement with the Minnesota Department of Transportation. They have worked paving work scheduled on 34 this summer from 29 to essentially Osage. They are going to detour the traffic down to their trunk highway 87 using our county road 29 on the west end and then our county road 40 and 47 on the east end to bypass that work.
Move 2F.
Motion by John, second by Richard to approve the MnDOT agreement. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Jim. Say, Jim, that it came in on 6 today and that sign, work ahead sign was right on the corner. So it's a little bit difficult to see traffic there.
Oh,
It should maybe be moved down a few or inside a little bit.
okay.
Commissioner Nelson, would we be able to entertain the IT project? I see Judy's there and it's highway related. Would that be appropriate at this time?
Sure. Did that was mentioned through finance, wasn't it? Why don't we run that? It was through the finance committee. Mary, why don't you come up and present with finance on it? We should have done that through finance in our minutes. Right? Judy, you can please come up too, but it was discussed at finance. It came up and that's what I was discussing about the Wi-Fi. It's kind of pertinent that we move forward quickly. It wasn't in any bid package, so oversight or undersight, I don't know.
Okay, well, what I have to present to the board today is a capital expense request for the amount of $41,263. And it is for internet connectivity equipment or network equipment at the new highway building. What it includes what are called the WAPs or the Wi-Fi network. So you can be wirelessly throughout the building. It includes the one of the 48 port switches we need. We're moving the other one from the old highway building. And then it includes an uninterrupted power supply, which will allow, which stops us from taking a power hit and having all the equipment go down and being very, very hard on this kind of electrical equipment. And then it includes the making this all work, includes installation. So what I'm looking for is the approval for $41,263 for the new highway building for their network connectivity.
We discussed if it was needed through the whole building, whether the storage area was needed, and Judy said she figured the cost was what, 3,000, and she was
About 3,500.
and she said she'd pay for that out of her own pocket.
Mhm.
She
I
did.
believed in it.
She did, but we said, no, we can't accept that because she
And
did
I was grateful.
yes. But it's something that wasn't in the original bid package, but it's all wired for, the wiring's all there. It's just the,
Wires are hanging out of the ceiling up there 20-some feet, and just to go cover them would cost you
yeah, we have to go.
half of that 30.
Well, and we also, there's 12 places to put these Wi-Fi devices. We only need 6 out in that area, so we only have 6 in this particular bid for that area. And I want to make sure that you guys knew that because I don't think I was clear when we met in the finance committee on that.
And the other thing is, when transit does come in and park, they're connected with their, not Wi-Fi, but when they come in that building, the service might be interrupted with the, thick concrete walls. And so we decided to move forward. It wasn't much of a savings if we didn't put it in
No, it was
at
not.
that area. So we decided just to recommend to move forward with the full 41.
I'll make a motion to approve the capital expenditure for the highway building, 41,263 or whatever it was.
Yep, 41,263.
Motion by John,
Second.
second by Richard, and that would come out of our special reserve fund. And that special reserve fund is formerly known as ARPA.
Thank
So
you.
all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries.
Now, thank you.
Now, thank you. Okay, Sheriff.
I'll have them come in at the end of.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, I have 4 items on the agenda today. The first is an approval request for selling forfeited or unclaimed property, abandoned property. And you should have a list in your packet. First one is miscellaneous items down at our impound lot, again, that are unclaimed or abandoned. And then the second is a list of firearms, which we will go through. We have to sell to federal firearms licensed dealers, which will be, a memo will be sent out to all those interested.
Are you selling this out as a group or two in the firearms?
It'll be one lot. And they'll bid on the whole lot.
One lot for the firearms, one lot for the other stuff.
Well, that, we might separate that out just because there's so many different items of different interests there.
Okay.
You might want to separate, I would recommend putting your guns in 2 lots anyway. I'd make them handguns and rifle or long guns. I mean, there's 5, I think 5 handguns and I don't know, maybe just for more. I just think the smaller lots might get a little bit more. And if there's a 5, 6 in each. But that's, you sell them publicly to however you wish, but if it's recommended the whole lot, then that's fine.
Okay. I think that would make sense, the 2 lots for the firearms.
Okay, need a motion to approve the selling of the,
So move.
motion by John,
I'll second.
and second by Erica to sell the forfeited, unclaimed and abandoned property, including the gun list. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed, motion carries.
Item number 2, resolution 4232B is the annual county boat and water safety grant agreement, which is for $19,440.
Move to approve 2B.
Motion by John,
Second.
second by Richard to approve 2B, the annual county boat and water grant. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries.
And item number 3, we'd like to purchase 5 radios for the jail. The total cost is $12,206.60, I believe, or
Yep.
Yeah.
206.
206.60. We had requested to use revenue loss funds, but we also have this budgeted. It is in our 2023 budget.
Okay, I think, if you have excess in your budget, they'll go into the general fund reserves. So either way, I think we move forward. If it's within budget, I'd just soon stay within budget.
Yeah. Move to approve.
Okay, motion by John,
I'll second.
second by Erica. Any discussion?
This is on our, like a 5-year capital.
5-year plan.
Yeah, to replace so many each year
Yeah.
to get them up to date, so.
And that's nice because ongoing for budget terms, we don't get hit with all of them at 1 year, which
Yeah.
will, so all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Okay, and again, I want to thank you and the board for the moment of silence at the beginning of the meeting. It means a lot to us and all involved in the Pope County incident. And if you notice, we're all wearing mourning badges or mourning bands on our badges, which is in honor of those that have been lost in the line of duty. So I'll bring in our newest deputy. Item number 4 is a ceremonial oath for our newest deputy. I'd like to introduce Deputy Jason Clown. He's been with us now for a few weeks. He's in field training, and I'll have him introduce himself, tell him a little bit about himself.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Jason Clawhoon, originally from Pennsylvania. Served in the United States Army for approximately 10 years. Moved back to the area. I live now in the Cormorant area. Worked for White Earth PD as a canine handler and a narcotics investigator. Opportunity came up for Becker, so I applied and got the job.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, Jason. I hear you have wonderful neighbors.
I do have a neighbor that's decent, yeah.
We're very happy to have him.
I wonder who that is.
Okay, I'll have you stand up. I, Jason Plum, hereby swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and impartially discharge the duties of the office of Deputy Sheriff, Becker County, Minnesota, which I have been duly appointed to the best of my ability.
Well, before we take a photo op, I want to just say thank you for your dedication to the job and now to Becker County. Want to offer you the well wishes of the county board and all of those in the commission here. But we also want to recognize your significant other, because I know we have family that has those same people at home that they are on the job just as much as you are. So if there's any times that you need support, we have it here at the county and we will provide anything that's needed. We just want you to be safe. So we'll take a photo op now and thank you again and best of luck, and we'll see you soon.
There you go. John, I can't see your face. Here we go.
On 3. Thank you. Pictures? Just the two of you.
Oh.
With the sheriff. What do you want to present? You don't want. Let me get a picture of the two of you.
Perfect.
Jason already, we already met because my dog went up and visited. So, the county board's gonna be on break now, so we have, opportunity to thank you.
I need that.
Yeah, Steve's here. We're a little ahead of schedule, but we can go on to land use, and Steve can.
Morning, Commissioner Pat.
Morning,
Thank
Steve.
you. We have a few agenda items here this morning to take up for environmental services. The first item is transferring a pickup title from the highway department over to environmental. Just need board approval to do that.
This is one that we authorized the highway department to sell, so Steve, environmental decided they needed to upgrade a pickup too. Were you replacing one?
No, we're just, well, there's some that could probably be disposed of. They're scrap metal almost there.
They'll have to put it on the,
Yes, no, that's right. When we get rid of them, we'll bring it back to the board.
Move to approve the transfer of title.
motion by John,
Second.
second by Richard. Are you transferring money? Are we transferring money from
There will be, there's $8,000.
environmental to highway?
Yes.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you. The second agenda item is out at the recycling facility. We're trying to wrap that project up, and there was some electrical work that was outside of the original building package that we needed to complete. And so we went out and got some bids. There was three different projects. The first package bid was for wiring, a new baler and conveyor connections. And on that, the low bid was Malmstrom Electric for $8,390. Do you want to handle these individually or as a package?
I would say individually, probably.
Okay.
So for that, the low bid or quote was
It was a bid.
$8,390. Wish to the board. That was to Malmstrom
You
Electric.
do each separately?
Yeah, I think we should, beings there.
I'll move package A.
Okay, motion
Second.
to approve package A, the baler and conveyor connections, a low bid from Malmstrom Elections for electric for $8,390. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. And
The second item is extending electrical wiring from the building out to the new fire suppression well. That was pulled out of the original bid package. The low bid was to Marks Electric for $3,200.
Move package B.
okay,
Second.
motion by John, second by Richard to approve package B for $3,200. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries.
The third package was to purchase a 800 amp transformer and the related switchgear. That'll go, it's in addition to the 400 amp service that we have in there now. This would prepare us for more machinery in the future. And the low bid was to Ace Electric for $74,064.
This is one that's not really needed. I mean, it's not needed right now. So there was some discussion about approving it, but maybe holding off until purchase till we see if we get a grant to help compensate some of it. But I think we should authorize moving forward and seeing if Steve sees a benefit to holding off for a short time or not, but.
Just the production of this unit would be out over 6 months.
Just to get the gear.
Yeah, you could
There's a-
work with the contractor or Ace Electric to secure it, but get it later. I mean, there might be some grant opportunity that it might fall under rather than,
Okay,
you know what I'm,
sure.
if we commit to it, but not bill it out, maybe that, if that grant comes in, we could get partial credit for it. But I think we move forward with it and authorize Steve to move forward with the purchase of it and give you some leeway on it.
I'd move
Okay.
package C.
Second.
Okay, motion and second to package C, purchase the 800 amp transformer for the amount of $74,064. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
Thank you.
Motion carries.
The next item is changing the hours out at the solid waste campus. In the past, we've been open till 6 o'clock on Mondays, and we just don't have people coming in. And so we want to change the hours on the solid waste campus Monday through Friday from 8 to 4:30 PM and on Saturday from 8 to noon throughout the year. So instead of having late summer hours.
What is the B Friday 8 to noon? in there? What, I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
From 8 to noon. We're open from 8 to noon on Fridays. So, I mean, on Saturdays, excuse me.
Well, it says Friday. That's why I questioned what,
Oh, summer hours on the transfer station, we're open from 8 to 6.
it says under discussion
Oh.
number 1. A is 8 Friday.
Oh, I had that wrong.
That should be Saturday afternoon.
Yeah. Well, no, we were open till 6 late one night and we just weren't getting any.
Right,
people out
but
there.
letter B, Friday, 8.
Oh, that's my mistake. That should have been Saturday. Sorry about that.
That's why I was confused.
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Okay, so the hours are Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, Friday or Saturday, 8 to noon. Summer hours are 8 to 4:30, except Friday, which is 8 to 6.
No, it'll be changed now. We won't go till 6 anymore. So from now on, the board motion will be setting the public hours from 8 to 4:30, Monday through Friday and Saturday 8 to noon throughout the year. So we won't have summer hours is what it comes down to.
Okay.
But you'll close at 4:30?
Correct.
Okay, I think we got it.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, and motion by John, second by Richard. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. And this isn't pertinent to some of those Saturday collection points you have throughout the county.
Correct.
So
No, this is not related to that. The next agenda item is for Parks and Rec. Last board meeting, we asked for approval to hire professional services to design and bid out the new shelter at Dunlocks. And the board approved 16,000. And as after the meeting, I found out from the architect that did not include some work to do the bid prep. And so I'm asking that we increase that amount to 17,975 or round it up to 18,000. And that would allow us to go through all the design services, bid it out, and then she would help us by doing professional inspections on the building and just completing the project.
Okay, so last meeting, we approved up to 16 some odd. So we just increased it up to 18,000. Is that the wishes? Because there was a savings on another part of it, so.
This is still a low quote, correct?
Okay.
So entertain a motion to increase our last agreement to 18,000.
Correct.
So moved.
Motion by John, second by
I'll second.
Erica. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you. The next item is out at Bucks Mills. We got a purchase agreement. And we need board authorization to have either the administrator or the board chair sign on the documents on behalf of Becker County. And then also authorize us to purchase or install a fence.
Okay. Let's,
Oh, sorry about that. I missed.
yeah, we jumped ahead, but
Sorry.
let's do the Buck Mills or do you want to go back to the
Either way.
snowmobile benchmark payment?
That was approved in
Yeah, we-
finance. We do.
I guess that's right. We did that. How about the RAC committee dissolution? Hank was in and talked a little bit about it, and I don't know. Wish of the board, should we table this, and with the new EDA person coming on and the comp plan study, maybe there's some reasons to at least to revisit what the goals and what the intent of this is.
Okay.
So with that, maybe we can, what is the wish of the board? I'm fine with tabling it.
I am too, because
I would agree.
Hank's very
Yeah.
upset that we were gonna
Yep, I agree.
cancel it. And he's been on there a long time, so if they want to keep meeting and if they want to keep doing it,
Do we have commissioners on that committee?
There's in the past been 2 commissioners.
Two designated commissioners, I'm sure who they are.
No, it was, right, we had the two that were.
Well, I think we
have
can
two new
revisit it.
commissioners.
and,
Those were the two that were on there.
Revisit, probably bring the group back together and just.
I think we need some
get some
direction from the EDA, the new EDA supervisor, and have them and Mitch kind of look at seeing what the role will be, and we can even look at what their role and goals should be, if it's the same or if it changes or.
Well, I guess I got a question on that. If we're gonna call the committee back into, so we have a committee meetings again, we would need 2 commissioners appointed.
Yes, but I think we need some, I think we need someone to kind of spearhead the whole thing. And once we get Mitch and the new EDA person involved, if we haven't got the representatives, we'll represent the commissioners on that at our next meeting, if that's
Okay.
more appropriate.
Is that something for us to talk about at the EDA meeting? Because we do have an EDA meeting this Thursday.
This Thursday. We could, yeah, could have it. It's not on the agenda, but we could put it on the.
Yeah, I would visit it and see what role we should be playing and what role that committee should be playing, so.
Yep.
And then if we don't have that, if we took that off our committee list, we'll have to revisit that. And anyone that, if we don't have them listed already, we'll have to, anyone express interest in it, we'll discuss it at the next meeting to appoint those two new.
Yep.
All right. So we'll just pull that from the agenda right now.
Do we need to make a motion to table it, or?
You could
Yeah.
table indefinitely.
I'll make a motion to table it indefinitely.
I'll say, go ahead.
Dave,
Okay, paper, rock, scissors.
no.
Motion,
I'll second
motion
it.
and second by Dave. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. And now back to Bucks Mills purchase agreement.
So you just need a board motion allowing either the board chair or the administrator to sign off on any legal documents that we need to acquire the property, which include a purchase agreement. And also a board motion approving the installation of a chain link fence, which was part of the agreement.
We were curious if the chain, I don't know, we could just well approve the installation of the chain link fence again, because I don't know that I know we discussed it many times in the past, but I think it's something we'll have to.
I don't believe is ever brought to the full board for
For-
approval as a capital.
Are those quotes old or are they still valid?
We found those, or we got those earlier this year, so we'd have to verify that.
Why don't you bring those back, the chain link fence quotes?
Okay,
And just for those in attendance and online, this is a purchase agreement out at Bucks Mill. The state is gonna reimburse us for this purchase, and they're gonna pull the current dam out of there and the overflow structure, which both are at the end of life and are dangerous out there. They are actually gonna put a longer waterway, a stepped waterway with stones for fish navigation. And so and in that chain already, the sturgeon have been laying eggs upstream from there. So we'll connect this much farther, and with the Pelican Dam coming out in Pelican, there's only, I think, one dam left in that waterway, which is pretty significant for the sturgeon to grow to maturity. But if you haven't seen that video on the DNR website about the sturgeon nesting and laying eggs, it's pretty incredible. They're just mature, and they're 40-inch long fish, and there's many of them. It's an impressive display, and if we can get those back in our whole system, it'd be kind of a real nice addition to that area. With that, we want to have more foot traffic. Before, they were actually trespassing on the neighbor's land, so now they'll be able to walk around and look on county property and DNR property. So with that, we are looking at authorizing someone from the county to sign the purchase agreement and close on this property at closing time. So it could take some time yet to close on it, but we do have a purchase agreement. So entertain a motion to authorize either the current board chair or the administrator to sign off on the purchase agreement and closing.
Make a motion for the current board chair and county administrator to sign off.
Okay. There's motion.
Second.
Second by Richard. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed. Motion carries.
thank you.
Thank you, Steve. And we are at 9:54, so we will move forward with planning and zoning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. First item of consideration before you this morning is Resolution 04232D, Feedlot moratorium conclusion.
Okay, and before we do, I was asked by Dr. Hankey and Willis if they could have a couple minutes to present, and I said I would allow that. So if you wish to speak. And again, we're trying to keep this on schedule.
Sure. Good morning and thanks for the opportunity. I'm Bill Hankey. I live in Detroit Lakes and I'm representing myself as well as the Prairie Woods chapter of the Isaac Walton League. I am just here to respectfully ask you to consider tabling this resolution at this point in time. And my rationale behind this, and I will express some disappointment, is that there is a wealth of information out there that I don't believe the ad hoc committee was given the opportunity to review. We've put together videos. There are a variety of experts. There are counties in Minnesota and Iowa that we've been in communication with that have experienced a real proliferation of these feedlots. We feel that there are very significant ramifications. And again, what I'm speaking to the large corporate industrial and not farming-based feedlots. And so we literally begged to be a part of the process. We were not allowed. Robust conversation to me does allow for people, the citizenry, to speak to contrary opinions. Some of them, may be opinions. Some of them are certainly based in fact. And we just never were given the opportunity to do so. And we've seen this process occur in a variety of counties and townships across Minnesota. And so what my fear is that with keeping this open and really not having any real regulation of this industrial business here, we're opening up our townships as well as our county to scramble on a retrospective basis to try to catch up, with this. There are very serious ramifications. We've outlined some of them: public health, waters, the social fabric with it. And so we just respectfully submit to be more a part of the process, because I think that robust conversation will probably result in better regulation, better resolutions, and just better policies that will support the county and our townships. So that's what I'm requesting.
Thank you, Bill.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'm Willis Mattson, live out in Shell Lake Township. I'm also a member of the Isaac Walton League, but member of Becker County. I had hoped to be appointed to the ad hoc committee. I submitted a rather extensive resume on my qualifications. I think if you reviewed that at all, you'll find that there are a few with more experience and expertise in feedlot rules and regulations than myself, because I've worked with the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency in that capacity. We have expended a great deal of time gathering good technical information on these industrial level livestock operations from not only here in Minnesota, but Iowa and Wisconsin. We've contacted these people and they've taken the time to make video recordings of their testimony and testimonials with their experience, so that folks here in Becker County can actually learn from the real lived experience of others. And hopefully by knowing what they went through, avoid some of the mistakes and errors and long-term consequences that these people have experienced. So as you consider this resolution today, I endorse what Bill says, that this maybe should be tabled, and the testimony could come either before a resumption of the ad hoc committee's meeting or at the planning commission session. And since the public hearing for the planning commission for the one unit facility you have coming before you is limited to personal oral testimony or email written testimony, we'd like to make an exception to allow this type of video testimony to be presented to inform the members of the commission, the ad hoc commission committee, and then possibly the county board as well, So that when this ultimately comes down even to the comprehensive planning process or these individual permits in particular, you do so from the best possible position of being informed and stand on the shoulders of those who've gone before you and thus make better decisions. So we'd ask that you maybe instruct the planning staff to allow that means of testimony to make sure that the robust amount of record is created and that you're making informed decisions. So if you would consider that, we'd appreciate it.
In that regard, Willis, I would say that I would ask our zoning people to have it emailed to all the individuals and they can view it on their time rather than playing it during the planning and zoning meeting. And I certainly would be willing for you to email it to all the commissioners to the video that you have.
That's
I
an
mean, I
excellent
think that would
idea.
probably be more appropriate than playing
Right.
it.
And then maybe we'll just provide a summary of that.
I think then you can
without-
orally
yeah,
provide a summary.
That's probably more timely, more
That would
efficient.
be
Yeah.
more
So
appropriate.
that could be accommodated. We'd sure appreciate it.
If that sounds appropriate to the board.
I agree.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, we have a resolution 4232D. I guess my question, Pat, is our ordinance, is it is it legitimate? Does it qualify for to stop moratorium at all?
Well, the moratorium that was passed in September was not an ordinance, and it was just a motion that the board approved.
It was worded as a moratorium, so is that?
Well, correct, but it's not an ordinance per statute, and I mean, I'll defer to Kyle if he feels otherwise, but you're just withdrawing a motion that was made last year.
The motion was a moratorium, though. Was that a valid moratorium?
Oh, any board motion is valid. Yeah, you passed a moratorium, but it wasn't based on any type of statute. So I think when the question was asked too long ago, it wasn't an interim ordinance. It wasn't an ordinance based on the statute we have. It was a simple, as staff took it, a simple motion that the board isn't interested in reviewing any other applications.
But a moratorium is a statutorial item. And my question is just simple, did it qualify as a moratorium or not?
Yeah, it was a motion made by the board, sure did. Okay.
But I would strongly disagree. It was not ever a moratorium. Whether it was a motion, there was nothing.
I think my point is that I kind of agree. I don't think it was appropriately done. I think the board didn't do the proper procedural. So I think the moratorium was not, I mean, if it was tested, I don't know that we would want it to be tested. Let's just put it that way. So in all honesty, this today might be kind of a clearing up one of our mistakes or are improperly, how we improperly went forward with it. Our intent was there, but I think it was improperly done. I wish we'd have probably had more information on that immediately, and we could have had a chance to modify or correct that. With that being said, I think we need to move forward with this and clarify it. With that also being said, I think we have opportunity to look forward in the comp plan to address some of the concerns that were here. And it's not as immediate as I know that some of you would like, but I think there are concerns about the industrial type coming in that take over a whole township or region. And I think it's negative to all local farmers. There are some benefits, obviously, to some that retain their land, but it has some negative effects, and I think those should be brought out. At the end of the day, the board makes a decision which direction we want to go. Maybe it's the same as it has been. Maybe we have no change, but I think we need to hear all sides of that. I know that we don't have the information that a lot of the farmers have. I mean, the requirements of the EPA, the requirements, and I think if we had more knowledge of that, it would be easier for us to say that maybe we don't need any rules. An example would be how far away from other living quarters. If you're a new facility coming into a new area, how far should you be from existing residents? Because those residents now are there first. We always say it the other way around, that, you know, this farm was here long before you people moved in and bought your, 3 acres. That's viewed differently to me than someone moving in a big farm next to a home established. So I don't know what the rules are. I don't want to handicap our farmers. I also know that farmers are now in the minority. We are in the minority, and we have to use best management practices. And I think a good organized farm does that. I think most farms are doing that. But getting back to this resolution, I think this was not properly done, and I think we need to move forward and getting it off our books at this time.
Mr. Chair, that's been my feelings all along, that it wasn't handled correctly, and to me, it really doesn't mean anything out there. It wasn't on the agenda, was no public hearing held, so it was kind of in violation of a lot of the steps. So with that, I make a motion to approve 2D.
I'll second
Can I,
that.
can I?
Do we have a motion and second discussion?
I just want to say something. I agree. I think that the moratorium that was quote unquote, that was put in place last in September isn't valid. So I do agree that we do need to address this. However, I also want to make it known that moving forward, I want to make sure that any conversation that we have all sides of the story, or all sides of the, all voices being heard. I think, while I appreciated everybody that was a part of the ad hoc committee, I think the information that was provided at that committee was very important and needed, but I also think it would have been helpful for us to have the other side there so that we could have a robust conversation. I don't know that the results of the ad hoc committee would have been any different, but it would have been a good opportunity for everybody's voice to be heard, for all citizens of Becker County. So with that being said, I do agree that we need to take care of this resolution.
Okay. Any other discussion? We're not really taking conversation, but did you have anything pertinent to add?
I don't know if there's an opportunity for us to talk or not. I came to listen and voice my opinion on it, but if there's not an open discussion on it, I can be quiet.
Well, and Dwayne, I don't know that today's the day to have an open discussion debating it. I mean, I think we heard from the Ikes because they didn't feel they were represented at the meeting. I gave them an opportunity to speak today. But if it's being dissolved, I don't know what, unless you were opposed to taking this off the.
Well, I've lived in Becker County all my life and grew up with livestock, so I support the livestock farmer. I think there should be no moratorium. That would be my recommendation. Because state and federal have setbacks for waters and river streams, residential areas, manure management. Hey, these guys that are doing this manure management thing, fertilizer is expensive, and livestock in the county is a good thing, I think. So that would be my recommendation. Okay. No moratorium.
Thank you, Dwayne. Dwayne is you're not representing the watershed, are you? Just
I'm representing myself. Okay. I'm just a poor farm boy.
That's a good one.
That's not the dumb part. He thought I didn't hear very good, but I heard him.
All right, thank you.
I think life is good. I wouldn't trade my neighbors for anything. Keep it simple.
Okay, we're gonna have to move on. We have a motion and a second. If the board discussion, any more board discussion? If not, all those in favor of the 2D signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you. And we have another discussion before us on the comprehensive plan update.
Yeah, it's just an update letting the board know that the final RFP was posted. It was open, or it is open from April 12th. And proposals are due before May 15th. And then after that occurs, Pat and I will review those applicants, submit them to the Planning Commission for a recommendation to you, and they will be before you sometime in early June.
So let me just clarify the planning, the proposals are due on May 15th. I'm looking at the schedule on page 167 of 177. And then they are approved at the county board level and at June 6th.
Yes.
Is part of the planning commission review proposals, May 31st, is that required?
No.
Does the board wish the plan, I mean, end of the day, the decision will hear, I imagine we'll have about 4 or 5 of them. I think the board, I don't know that the planning and zoning commission needs to review them for their, I think it could just come here. I don't know why, I've never seen that step before, so. I think they should have the copy of them, but I think the board is the decision maker here. That's my opinion.
Oh, that's fine. It reserves the right to modify that timeline at any point. So if you don't feel that's necessary, then.
Well, there's 2 of us on there, so it'd be kind of duplication, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I think they'd be provided and have input, but I don't think
they can weigh in on it.
they can personal opinions, but I think that this is a big decision. I think this comes before us. I think if you don't want that decision, you're in the wrong seat myself. But I think everyone here wants to be part of that decision-making on who we go. Don't you?
We could, it's not a big deal, you know, to do it that way.
I think we're gonna do it anyway. We are gonna invest all of our time and make that decision.
It's not to say that not to say that even if they just hear something from those applicants and recommend all of them come to you, there just could be some insight because there's some pretty valuable people on that planning
The
commission.
thing is that we're gonna ask for interviews, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And we don't want them to interview at the planning zoning and come here and interview and give their presentation again. That's my opinion. I think we're gonna be the decision makers on it and review the interviews and have the interviews are coming to us.
Is the purpose of the planning commission review proposals to narrow the proposals down?
Yes.
Is that what you're?
Yeah.
Well, I think we use this as a guide to see how many proposals there are too. I mean, if there are,
Yeah. I mean, I think it would be important for the board to see all proposals.
I think that's essential myself. So. I don't know.
Judging, just depending on how many there are, but that's certainly fine. I don't know if we're gonna get 2 or 12. You know, and again, this can change at any moment. So if there's a pile of them and you feel that maybe they should be vetted a little bit, then we can. If there's only a couple, we can skip that step.
Okay, that sounds fair.
I can certainly, you know, I'll have their due the 15th. Does anybody have a calendar?
So we'll meeting before that.
15th is Monday.
Yeah, so I can give you an update on the 16th and you can let me know what you'd like.
Yeah, we have board on the 16th, so.
And when is the 31st a planning commission meeting?
It's
or would-
Wednesday.
Yep.
Okay.
So if you'd like, if you decide at that point they don't need to go there, we'll remove them. And if you say, hey, there's 20 here, whatever, send them, we can. So you can make that decision then.
Okay, we'll make the decision on the 16th. That's May. You're looking
No,
for.
no, you're gone.
Yeah, sounds good then. We'll hear about them on the 16th, so.
Perfect.
Anything else, Kyle?
No, sir.
We need a motion. No, we don't. We just update.
No. So we are looking at our agenda then. Do we have anything before we go into closed session do we need, anyone need a short break before we go into closed session? Are we good? Okay, we have a couple items left on our agenda. They are dealing with, they're dealing with our human resources, benefits and employees. We will conduct those after we come out of closed session. But at this time, I'll entertain a motion to close the meeting.
I'll need to read that sentence.
You gotta read the sentence. It's on page 177.
Motion closed session pursuant to Minnesota Statute 13D03 Subdivision 1B. The governing body of employer may by majority vote in public meeting decide to hold a closed meeting and consider a strategy for labor negotiation, strategies, developments, or discussion and review of labor proposals conducting pursuant to statute sections 179A01 to 179A25. Motion, entertain a motion to close.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, motion by Erica,
I'll second.
second by Dave to close the meeting for labor discussions. Okay. Willis and Dr. Hanke, we are in closed session. Thank you again for